So here are the puppies, and you can see all the different styles that you can do for the puppies. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make these cute little puppies. And you can see how their legs will go up and down. And this one has this colored eyes and also a plastic animal nose. And then this one, I used a different type of eye, and I made the nose and the tongue to go with this one. And then this little puppy I made with a little sleepy eye, and she also has painted little claws and a little locket. And this one is a very special one because you can hang, this is going to be a bracelet for my niece, but you can hang it onto the puppy. But also what's nice about this one is you can take the bracelet off, and then from behind there's a secret compartment, and you can stash or put the present inside as a little carry or a place to keep it hidden. So it's kind of nice that you have a little secret compartment in the back, and then also the movable feet too. And then on her, she has a little bow on the head. So the one that I'm going to make with you is going to have the 9mm plastic eyes, like this one. And you could see the difference between the 12mm eyes. So for this one, we're going to use the 9mm eye. But if you like the 12mm, you can use 12mm craft eyes. So for this project, I'm using the Red Heart Super Saver, and this is the lavender color, and then also the Red Heart Super Saver black yarn. And I'm using a J crochet hook, or 6mm crochet hook, and also a tapestry needle and a pair of scissors. If you're going to sew on the little bows onto the head, then you're going to need just a regular sewing needle and whatever color thread. I'm using the white colored thread. And I'm using the Suncatcher Craft Eyes 9mm. But actually, that's if you want to use the colored ones. But I'm using the solid black 9mm Craft Eyes. And I'm going to show you how to make your own animal nose. But I also have the animal nose I'm going to show you with a plastic one as well. And you can use any kind of charm that you want. If you want to use a charm, I'll show you how to put that onto your dog or your puppy if you want that. And I'm using the Ofre accessories for the pink little bows. We're going to start with the snout, and I'm going to start with my color, lavender, for the snout, but you can start with the black too, whatever color you want to start with. But we're going to start with a magic circle. We're going to start with a magic circle, so just take whatever color that you're using for your puppy and drape it across your 4 fingers, and then use your thumb to stabilize, and then wrap the yarn around your 2 middle fingers twice. And then hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. Then you take your crochet hook and go under those 2 loops around the middle fingers. You're going to pull up a loop, and then you're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through that loop for your slip knot. And now we're going to do 6 single crochet into the magic circle. So you're going to go under those 2 loops, bring up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through those 2 loops for a single crochet. And then we're going to do 5 more for a total of 6 into the magic circle. That's 2. Now you're going to take your forefinger and thumb and hold it at the base of those 6 single crochet, and then you have those 2 loops on the opposite end of the magic circle. You're going to pull on one. If it doesn't close, then you're going to let go and then pull on the other one until it closes. And then you're going to take that loose yarn end and pull on that, and then that closes up the magic circle. If it's not completely closed, don't worry, because we can close it more later. Now you're going to get your yarn marker, and I'm just using a scrap piece of my yarn, and just place it right where you left off. And now you're going to do an increase round. You're going to do 1 single crochet into the next stitch, that first stitch, bring up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through both for a single crochet. And then in the second stitch, you're going to do 2 single crochet in the same stitch. And we're going to do this pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. So in the next stitch is 1 single crochet. The next one is 2 in the same stitch. And then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And then in the last stitch right before the yarn marker, I'm going to do 2 single crochet in the same stitch. And now I'm going to move the yarn marker up, but first I'm just going to finish closing the center of my magic circle. So I turn the work over and pull on that loose yarn end, and then that closes up your magic circle. Go ahead and move your yarn marker up to where you left off, and now you're going to do 1 single crochet into every stitch around back to the yarn marker. So 1 single crochet into every stitch back around. And then we're going to place our nose, so we can set the snout aside for now. I'm going to show you how to make your own nose, but I'm actually going to use the plastic one, so I'm going to show you both. So to make our own nose, we're going to do the exact same thing with the magic circle. Oops. So we're doing the same thing, slip knot, and then you're going to do 6 single crochet into the magic circle the exact same way. But this time you're just going to finish off. So you're going to yarn over, pull enough yarn to sew the nose onto your snout. And then you have a nose. You take your snout and you can place, I use the center of the magic circle as a guide, and I just place the nose right above that, and then I sew it in place on the snout. So it looks just like this on your snout, sewn on. But instead of sewing on my nose, I'm going to go ahead and use my plastic nose, and I place my plastic nose the exact same way. So I use that center as my guide and just place my plastic nose. And I love these because I can just take the little safety latch and just put that right on to the nose. So I have my nose sewn in place. I'm going to take my yarn marker And I'm going to move it up to where we left off on the snout. Now you're going to go into the next stitch over and bring up a loop. So I have 2 loops on the hook. And then I'm going to take my second color. You can use whatever color you want. In my case, I'm using the black yarn. And then you're just going to hook that second color and bring it through both loops on the hook. And then you're going to chain 1. So you yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through that loop for chain 1. And then turn your work over, and then just tie a knot onto the back. And now I'm going to start working with my second yarn, but at the same time, I'm going to carry my purple yarn around with me as I work. So you're going to go into the next stitch over, and you're going to go behind your purple yarn, bring up a loop with the black yarn, and then you're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through both loops on the hook for a single crochet. And you're going to do 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way around. And at the same time, you're carrying your purple yarn with you as you work. So go ahead and do 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way around. And you're going to do that for 2 rows, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so you should have finished 2 rows. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go into the next stitch over, and then you're going to yarn over both yarns and pull them through both loops on your hook for a slip stitch. And then you're going to yarn over and pull both yarns through the loop on your hook to finish off, and just pull enough yarn so you can sew the snout onto the head. And then you have your snout done. So now we're going to do the head. So for the head, we're going to do the magic circle again. And we're going to do the exact same thing as we did for the snout. We're going to do 6 single crochet into the magic circle. But this time, you're going to do 2 single crochet into every stitch around for a total of 12. 1, 2, so 2 single crochet into every stitch for a total of 12. And then you can turn your work over to finish closing the center of the magic circle. Now you're going to get your yarn marker, just put it right where you left off, and we're going to join our second color. So you're going to go into that next stitch, bring up a loop, and then you're going to get your second color. In my case, I'm using the black yarn. I'm going to yarn over and bring the black yarn through both loops on the hook. Then I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to take and tie a knot onto the back. And I'm going to work with the purple yarn and then just carry the black yarn with me. So I'm going to go into the next stitch, and we're going to do an increase round. I'm going to pull up a loop. So now I have a black loop and a purple loop on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull the purple yarn through both loops on the hook. And I'm going to carry the black yarn as I work. The second stitch, I'm going to do 2 single crochet in the same stitch. 1, 2. And you can see how I'm carrying the black yarn with me. So now in the next stitch, I'm going to do 1 single crochet. And then in the second stitch, I'm going to do 2 single crochet in the same stitch. And I'm going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. So go ahead and keep doing that, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. So I have 2 stitches of the purple left, just 1 before the yarn marker. So part of the fun and the reason why you're carrying around that extra yarn is to change colors. So first, I'm still doing my increase. So I'm going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And then in my last stitch, I'm going to do 2 single crochet, but I'm going to change colors. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So for the first stitch, I'm going to do the purple color, a single crochet. And then to change colors, I'm going to move the purple forward and work with the black yarn. And I'm going to go in the same stitch, and I'm going to do a single crochet with the black yarn. And then I'm going to move my yarn marker up. So you can change colors wherever you want and however you want. So now I'm going to do 1 more with the black color, but we're going to do 1 single crochet into every stitch around back to the yarn marker. So I'm going to change back to the purple. I'm going to move the black yarn forward and start working with the purple. And then I'm going to do 1 single crochet into every stitch. So now you know how to change colors. You can change colors however you want, but you need to do 4 rows of the 1 single crochet all the way around. So just do 1 single crochet into every stitch around and change colors however you like, but do 4 rows and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so you should have finished 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I'm just going to keep working past the yarn marker, just doing 1 single crochet. And you can keep changing color wherever you like. I'm just going to keep going with my purple. And I just want to go past my stripe that I made. Because that's where I'm going to sew my snout on. So after I've moved past the stripe, now you can get your snout and place it where you want it to go near the stripe. The bottom you're going to line up with the bottom single crochet that you made. And then once you know where, you can take your yarn marker out. Once you know where your snout is going to go, then you can take your eyes and place your eyes where you want them. And my eyes, I'm going to put, let's see, I want this one a little bit more to that. So this is where I'm going to place my eyes. And once you're happy with where you want your eyes, then you can take and turn it inside out and then just put your safety latches on and then come back and I'll show you how to sew the snout on. Now you take your tapestry needle and place it on one of your long yarn ends that you left for sewing, and then place your snout in place. And then once you have your snout, make sure that your nose points down how it's supposed to and it's lined up with your eyes the way you like it. And then once you have the snout in place, you want to sew the bottom first. So you just take your tapestry needle and you just sew the snout along the bottom. Just go in and out with your tapestry needle. And then you want to make sure that you stuff the snout with pillow stuffing. I just use a cheap pillow. Once you have the pillow stuffing in, then you just put the snout up. And then you're just going to take your tapestry needle and now you're going to sew the top part. So you just go in and out of the top part of the snout and sew it in place. And then once you sew the top part, then you sew the sides. And then if you start getting low with the purple, then you take your other color and then finish sewing the snout on. Okay, so after your snout is sewn in place, then you're going to go back to where you left off and just put your yarn marker and put your crochet hook in through the loop. And you're going to stuff the head as you go. And now we're going to close the head up. And how you're going to do that is you're going to go into the next stitch and do 1 single crochet. And then in the second stitch, 1 single crochet. And the third stitch, 1 single crochet. And then you're going to do a decrease stitch. So you go into the next stitch, you bring up a loop, then go into the next stitch, bring up a loop. So now you have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through all 3 for a decrease stitch. And you can see how I'm carrying my black yarn along with me. And you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. So I'll do one more with you. 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet into the second stitch, and 1 single crochet into the third stitch, and then I'm going to do a decrease stitch. And I'm going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. So I had 3 stitches left and I just did 1 single crochet into every stitch back to the yarn marker. Then I'm going to move my yarn marker up and we're going to do another decrease round. This time we're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. And then you're going to do a decrease stitch. And you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. So I have 1 stitch left and you can see how I've been stuffing the head as I go. So I'm just going to do a decreased stitch now. So I'm just going to go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, then I'm going to go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, then I'm going to yarn over and then pull through all 3 for a decrease stitch. And now I'm just going to do 1 single crochet and then a decrease stitch around. So I'm going to move up the yarn marker and I'm just going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then I'm going to do a decrease stitch, and then 1 single crochet and a decrease stitch all the way around back to the yarn marker. And I have 2 stitches left, so I'm just going to do 1 single crochet into each of those stitches. And then you're going to have just a little bit of a hole left, and that's fine. You can go ahead and finish stuffing more stuffing in there, but I'm going to show you what we're going to do now is just go into the next stitch. And then you're going to pull up both yarn ends, both yarns into both loops onto the hook for a slip stitch. And then you're going to finish off. So you're going to yarn over and pull both yarns through the loop on your hook, and then pull enough yarn for sewing onto the body. And then you can go ahead and finish stuffing the head, and then I'll show you how to make the body. Okay, so we're going to start with magic circle again, and we're going to do the same thing as we did for the head. For the magic circle, you're going to do 6 single crochet into the magic circle. So 6 single crochet into the magic circle, just like we did for the head. And also you're going to do 2 single crochet into every stitch around for a total of 12, just like we've done before. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 single crochet into every stitch for a total of 12. And then turn the work over and close the magic circle. Now you're going to get your yarn marker and place it right where you left off. And we're going to join our second color. So you're going to go into the next stitch. You're going to bring up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, and then take your second color, and I'm using black. And then you're going to hook that second color and bring it through both loops on the hook. And then you're going to chain 1. And then you're just going to tie your knot. And this is the same. We're going to do 1 single crochet into every stitch around, and this is the same thing as for the head. You can change colors wherever you like. I'm going to change colors now after 1. Oops. Still going to be using the purple color, so I'm just going to have 1 where I joined with the black. So I'm working with the purple, burying the black yarn, carrying it with me, and I'm only doing 1 single crochet into every stitch around, and you can change colors wherever you like for the body, but you're going to do 1 single crochet into every stitch around, and you're going to do that for 6 rows, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. You should have finished your 6 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you can go ahead and stuff your body if you're going to be making the regular dog without the opening. And then you're going to make the body the same way, except you're not going to stuff it when you're making the one that opens. So I'm going to finish showing you how to close the regular dog, and then I'll show you how to do the alternate where you can have it opening from behind. So to close, you just take your yarn marker and move it up. And now we're going to do decrease stitches all the way around. So you're going to go ahead and go into the next stitch and bring up a loop, and you're still carrying the black yarn around with you. Go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, and then you're going to yarn over and go through all 3 for decrease. And you're going to do decrease stitches all the way around, and then come back and I'll show you how to slip stitch it closed. Okay, so now when you start getting the hole a little bit smaller and you just want to slip stitch, what you do is you skip a stitch, go into the next stitch, then you're going to yarn over with both yarns and pull through both loops on your hook for a slip stitch. And then you're just going to slip stitch it completely closed. And then after you're finished closing, then you're going to yarn over both yarns and pull through the loop and pull enough yarn for burying in your work, and then go ahead and just cut the yarn. But I'm not going to cut this one because I'm going to show how to do the alternate. Okay, so now for the alternate, after the 6 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, now we're going to go ahead and slip stitch and finish off. So you're going to go into the next stitch over, going to yarn over both yarns and pull them through both loops on your hook for slip stitch, and then you're going to finish off, and you're going to pull enough yarn through for sewing. So this is how the work looks so far. Now we're going to make the inside pocket. So I'm going to make the inside pocket with the purple yarn. So we're going to do a magic circle the same way we did initially. We're going to do 6 single crochet into the magic circle. And then you're going to do 2 single crochet into every stitch around, the same way we did before, for a total of 12. And then you're going to close the magic circle. And then just take your yarn marker, and then you're going to do 1 single crochet around for 5 rows, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. You should have finished 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you're just going to slip stitch into the next stitch, and then you're going to finish off. And then what you're going to do is just turn your work inside out, and you want to sew the center yarn. That was what we used for the magic circle. And then just kind of bury it into your work, because that just helps to keep it from unraveling. Bury your loose yarn end, and then just cut that, and then turn it back inside out. And then you're going to take the inside portion and just place it inside, but you want to put a little bit of stuffing on the inside also to help give it some shape. And then just put this on the inside. And line up the 2 yarn ends. And then once you have it placed in there, you want to tie a knot. And then you're going to take your tapestry needle and put it onto that long end that you left for sewing, or you can just use your purple yarn. And then you're just going to take and you're just going to sew the stitches together on the outside and the inside with the tapestry needle. Just going to go in and out and then sew the pieces together. If you run out of the purple, then you can use the black yarn, and then just sew those 2 pieces together and then come back and I'll show you what to do. After you've sewn the 2 ends together, you just want to bury your loose yarn ends. So you just take your yarn with your tapestry needle and just weave it through the outside, and then just cut the loose yarn in. So go ahead and do that with all your loose yarn ends, and then come back. So now we're going to do another magic circle. This is going to cover the back of the body, and we're going to do 6 single crochet into the magic circle again. And then you're going to do 2 single crochet into every stitch for a total of 12. And then you're going to do a slip stitch into the next stitch. Just go into the next stitch over, and then you're going to yarn over and bring the yarn through both loops on your hook for a slip stitch. And then you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to do a single crochet. Actually, we'll do a slip stitch into the next stitch, go into the next stitch, yarn over and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. And you can see how you have a little latch for closing for the back of the body. And then you can just do a single crochet in every stitch down halfway. So just 1 single crochet all the way down. And then once you're down at the bottom, you're going to do a slip stitch into the next stitch over. So go into the next stitch over, yarn over and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. And then you're going to finish off. Yarn over and pull enough yarn through for sewing. And now you have the back end for closing the back of the body. So go ahead and bury your loose yarn end, and then take your tapestry needle on the sewing end, and you're going to place however you want. Make sure you have the markings, because the opening, the latch is going to go over the tail. So wherever your tail is going to be, which I'm going to put my tail up here, you're going to sew the bottom of the body to the back end for closing. So you just take your tapestry needle and just sew the bottom couple of stitches. I'm just going to go back across. And you can see how it's going to open like this. So once you're happy with how it is, you just take and tie a knot. And then once you're finished tying your knot, you're going to take and bury your loose yarn in through the back of the body with your tapestry needle. And then you just take and cut that loose yarn end. And now I'm going to show you how to make the tail. To make the tail, you're going to need both colored yarn. And we're going to do our slip knot. So you're going to take both yarns and make a loop. And then take your crochet hook and go through that loop. And then hold it in place with your middle finger and thumb. And then you're going to yarn over both yarns and then pull it through your loop for your slip knot. And now you're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you're going to finish off, yarn over and pull enough yarn through for sewing onto the body. And then you just take your tapestry needle and put it on the sewing end. And then you take your body, and then wherever you're going to have it latch is where you want to sew your tail. So then you just take and tie a knot. And then just bury your loose yarn ends. And then on the other side of the tail, you're going to leave a little bit of yarn loose on the end for the back end of the tail. So go ahead and bury your loose yarn ends and then come back. Once your tail is sewn on, you can put it right through the latch, and you can see how it'll keep the little secret compartment hidden. You just put the tail right through that latch, and it keeps it shut. So now I'm going to show you how to do the ears and the feet, and then we're going to sew the head on. Now for the ears, we're going to start with the whatever color is your main color, and we're going to do the magic circle again. And we're going to do 6 single crochet into the magic circle, the same that we've been doing the whole time. And then just hold at the base like we've been doing. And now we're going to join the black color or the second color. So just go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, then you take your second color and join it. Chain 1, and then tie a knot. And now you can change colors wherever you like, but I'm going to go ahead and work with my purple color, and you're going to do 1 single crochet into every stitch around. And you're going to do that for 6 rows and then come back. Okay, so you should have finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. Now you're going to go ahead and do a slip stitch into the next stitch. Just go into the next stitch. Then you're going to yarn over both yarns and pull both yarns through both loops on your hook for a slip stitch. And then you're going to finish off by yarning over and pulling enough yarn to sew the ear onto the head. So go ahead and make 2 of these, and then I'll show you how to sew them onto the head. You should have your 2 ears done, and now we're going to sew them onto the head. And I usually line it up with the center of the magic circle of the head, and we're going to place the ear about 2 rows over, and then take your tapestry needle. You're going to go into the body, or the head, and then come out through the ear and just sew it in place. And then I usually will go down into where I want the ear to be at the top of the head, and then go back in through the head and back up through the ear, and I'm just going to sew it into place. So go ahead and sew the ear in place onto the head, and then come back, and then I'll show you how to shape the ear with the black yarn. So now the ear is sewn in place, and I've left the long end of the purple yarn in the back. Now I'm going to take my tapestry needle with the black yarn. I'm going to fold the ear how I want it to fold down, and then you just take your black yarn and you're going to go through the ear flap and sew it down. And then once you're finished sewing the ear flap down, then you're going to take the excess black yarn and come out in the same place that you came out with the purple yarn. And then just tie a knot. And then you're going to take your loose yarn ends, and then you're just going to bury them into the head. Go back in where you tied your knot and come out anywhere on the head, and then just cut your loose yarn ends. So go ahead and bury the black yarn end, loose yarn end, and then do the same thing. Sew the other ear on the same way that you sewed on this ear. Now your ears should be sewn on, and you're going to take your tapestry needle and the long one of the yarn ends on the head, and we're going to sew the head onto the body. So make sure that the tail is facing up and you have the top of the body, and then you're just going to sew the head in place. But before you sew the head in place, make sure that you take the inside hidden compartment and take it out so you don't sew it to the head. So once you've done that, then you're just going to take and make sure that you sew the head only to the top portion of the body. Don't go all the way through to the bottom, and make sure that the front of the head is facing out to the front of the body. So you just keep going in and out with your tapestry needle all the way around the head, and then just sew it in place, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. Then once you have your head sewn on, you're just going to take your loose yarn ends and then go in where you tied the knot, anywhere, come out anywhere on the head, and then you just cut your loose yarn ends. And now we're going to do the feet, so you can set that aside. And I've already made 3 of them, so I'm going to show you how to make the feet. You need 4 of them, of course. So we're going to start with magic circle. So we're going to do the magic circle like we've been doing. And we're going to do 6 single crochet into the magic circle, just like with the other parts of the dog. And then we're going to close the magic circle the same way. And then you're going to do 1 round of 1 single crochet into every stitch for a total of 6. And then you can go ahead and turn it inside out so that the loose yarn end is on the inside, and then pull on that to close the magic circle. Now you're going to take your crochet hook into the next stitch, bring up a loop. You have 2 loops on the hook, and you're going to join your second color. And then you're going to chain 1 and tie a knot. And you can make your color changes anywhere you want. So here I'm going to begin working with my purple yarn, and you're going to do 1 single crochet into every stitch around, and you're going to carry both yarn with you so you can change colors. And you're going to do this for 7 rows, but I'm going to do one color change with you so you can remember how we did the color changes. So I'm going to change color now, right before I have a purple stitch and a black stitch. So I'm going to move the purple color forward and start working with the black color now. I'm going to go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and go through both for a single crochet. And then I'm going to do one more in the next stitch with the black color. And then I'm going to change colors. I'm going to move the black yarn forward, start working with the purple yarn, go into the next stitch, and you're just going to keep doing one single crochet into every stitch until you've completed 7 rows. And you can go ahead and tuck your loose yarn end strands into the inside of the foot. And then just keep working, and then the single crochet into every stitch for 7 rows, and change colors however you want your feet to look, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, when you've completed 7 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then you're just going to take some of your stuffing and just put it right into the foot. And I found that the back of the crochet hook can be kind of helpful too, just kind of pushing the stuffing down into the foot. Then you're going to take and cut the alternate yarn because we don't need that anymore. And then you're just going to tie a knot. And then you're just going to take the excess yarn end and put that right into the foot. And then we're going to close the foot. So we're going to slip stitch it closed. So you're going to skip a stitch, and then you're going to go into the next stitch. Then you're going to yarn over and pull the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. And you're just going to do that until you've closed the top of the foot. And then when you're closed, just going to yarn over to finish off, and then just enough to bury the yarn into your foot. Then you just take your tapestry needle on that loose yarn end, and then you just go right down the center of the back of the foot, come out anywhere on the foot, and then just cut that loose yarn end. And now we're ready to sew the feet onto the puppy. So now you just need some yarn and put that onto your tapestry needle. Now you're going to take 2 of your feet and make sure that the stuffing on the inside of the body is out, because you don't want to sew that into place with the feet. Then you take your feet and make sure you have the bottom paws at the bottom and the part that you sewed your loose yarn in at the top. And then you're just going to line up the front of the feet onto the body how you want them, just like this. Pinch it together And then you're just going to go through the arm and through the body, through the other arm on the other side. And then just leave enough yarn to tie a knot. And then go back over a stitch, about a couple millimeters back in, and then come out the other side, a couple millimeters from where you went in with your tapestry needle. And then you're just going to let go and then pull the body apart a little bit. Give yourself some room. Then you're going to tie a knot. And then you're going to go and do it one more time. So we're going to go back through one more time. Just to make sure that the arms are extra sturdy and then won't come off. And then you just go right back through again. And then you're just going to pull it apart. And then just tie a knot. And you're going to do the same thing with the back legs. And then come back. Make sure when you cut it that you leave enough for burying into your work. And then go ahead and do the same with the back legs. Line them up. Make sure that they're level with the front leg on both sides. And then you're going to go through the same way that you did for the front. And then come back and I'll show you what to do next. Now all of your feet should be sewn on. You have your back and your front feet on, and just bury all of your loose yarn ends. And you can go ahead and stuff the back hidden compartment back into the dog, and then you can close the back and put the tail through the latch to close the back hidden compartment. And now your dog is almost complete. Now you can just decorate the dog. Okay, so now we're just going to do the cute little pink claws on the paw, and I've already done 3 of them, so I'm going to show you how to do it on the 4th one. So I'm taking soft pink, and this is Karen's Simply Soft yarn on my tapestry needle, and I'm going to go in and then up. So I went on the side, on the right side, about a row up, and leave enough yarn for tying a knot. And then you're going to go back in where you came out. So you're going to go back in the tapestry needle and you're going to go in the center, just like this, for the middle. So you can see how I finished the right claw. So now I'm in the middle, and I'm going to come straight down and then up a claw over. So I'm going straight down, and then I'm going to go in at an angle for the right claw. So you can see how I finished the right, the middle. Now I'm doing the left, our left. So I'm going to go in and then back out where we first started. So just like this. And then I have my third painted claw. And then I'm going to tie a knot. And then I'm going to go in with my tapestry needle where I tied my knot, and then go straight out the back of the paw. And then I'm just going to cut the yarn. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my other loose yarn end. Just go right in where the knot is, out the back, and then you just cut the yarn. And then you have cute little painted claws. Now we're going to do the necklace. So you can use any charm that you want, but I'm going to use this little key heart from Jewelry Basics. For the collar, I'm just going to use my Caron Simply Soft Pink yarn, and I'm going to start with a slip knot. So I'm going to fold it over on itself to form a loop, and I'm going to put my crochet hook through, and then I'm going to hold it at the base with my middle finger and thumb. I'm going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through that loop for a slip knot. And then I'm just going to make chain as big as my puppy's neck. So I'm just going to chain and then just measure around my puppy's neck until it's the right size. See, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm just going to keep checking. So I'm going to need probably about 15, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then you're just going to take, and on the back of your puppy, you're going to go into that first stitch that you did, and then you're going to yarn over, and you're going to bring the yarn through both loops for a slip stitch. And then you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to finish off. You're going to yarn over, and then just bring enough yarn that you can tie a knot and tie it around your charm. And then you're going to bring the collar back around so it looks like this. And then you're going to take your charm and make sure that it's facing the right side. You want the charm to lay forward, and then just tie a knot. And I'm going to tie it 3 times just to make sure that doesn't come out. And then I'm going to take my tapestry needle, and I'm just going to weave the loose yarn ends back through. And then just cut it. So go ahead and do that with your other loose yarn end, and then come back. So now you can see the pretty little locket that's on your dog. And now I'm going to sew on the little, whoops. Now you're just going to sew on your little hair decoration or little bow. So I'm going to place that how I want it on the dog's head. And then you take your sewing needle, and I just have some white thread, just a regular sewing needle, and I'm going to go in through the back of the head, and I'm going to come out through the petal with the sewing needle, and just leave enough yarn or thread in the back for tying a knot. And then you're just going to sew it in place. You're just going to go through, in and out. Oop. And there's a little sticker thing on the back too that you can go through with your sewing needle. And then you just come up through the pink petals with your sewing needle. And you only need to do it a couple of times. I'm going to go through one more. And then you're going to go back down through the head, right where you came out, to tie your knot. Make sure I don't have any loops. And then just tie a knot on the back. And then I just take my sewing needle and then I just go in where I tied my knot and then come out anywhere on the head. And then cut it. And then I'm also just going to cut up here. And then you have the cute little bow. And your puppy's all done. So here are the puppies. And you can see all the different styles that you can do for the puppies.